making your sound better.
What's going on, guys? So today we're going to be going over the Abbey Road Technique. The Abbey Road Technique was developed by Abbey Road Studios in 70s, 80s, I want to say. Honestly, when I was reading into it, I didn't really take note of the time period, but it was developed by them, so that's what's up. What this effect consists of is a EQ going into a reverb on a send. And you're going to send primarily your vocals. Don't really know another application for this, but you're going to send your vocals to it. And the way that this processing works is it's going to give your vocals the transience and the presence that they need without getting in the reverb getting in the way of them. So without further ado, let's just jump right on in and get into it, guys. So first thing out of the gate, let's take a listen to our raw vocal and see what it sounds like.
You captured my attention. You walk into the room and it's like, God damn, here we go again now. I didn't learn my lesson, seeing as I'm hooked on you again, and I don't even know how.
Cool. It's great. It's fantastic. We got a good take. I will be saying that this is not tuned or anything like that, so keep that in mind. So let's turn on our bus. We're going to go to our send. And let's start out with our first thing. I'm just, for brevity of time, I'm just going to start with an EQ. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take this low cut and give it a slight dB cut, around 18. And then we're going to move this to 600 hertz. Then we're going to take this high cut, move it around 10,000. And give it, I would say 24 to 18, maybe a little bit more, because that low end is in somebody's vocal is not as prominent as their high end. And right here, we're going to lessen the Q on this guy. You want to drop this band right here with a smaller Q wherever the vocal is present, most present. Now with female vocals, it's going to be a little bit higher up. With male vocals, it's going to be a little bit lower down. I usually find a larger Q, and around there, around 2K, I usually find is the best spot. Let's see what this sounds like.
You captured my attention. You walk into the room and it's like, God damn, here we go again now. I didn't learn my lesson.
Kind of radio effect, right? So I just boosted this just so we could hear the effect.
You captured my attention. You walk into the room.
But for right now, let's keep it at -8. Now with this guy, I like using a Pro R. It's just a very clean reverb and it gets the job done. So let's start sculpting out what our reverb's going to do. So we set this at 100% because this is a return effect. And let's set our input EQ. So with this guy, I'm going to set to the same sort of things that I set for this guy for the EQ above. And then we're just going to give a slight dip at around the same area. Now this is important. For this is the diffusion network. So depending on where these values lie, this is going to be diffused a lot faster than this guy. Now, why is that important? It means that this will ring out, this portion will ring out longer than, say, this portion. And so we kind of want to build that into the diffusion network. So frankly, let's just dip this guy down a little bit, and it creates this nice diffusion where this portion rings out just a little bit longer than the rest of this. And then now we're going to set these values. I want this to be a little bit brighter. We're going to make it a clean signal, not too far away, a few seconds. Let's go 2. And this really doesn't matter all that much. This just increases the time by however much percentage. So right there, we have it at 100%. And now let's give this puppy a listen. Let's go in between clean and lively. I made it a little bit darker because some things were ringing out a little bit more than others. And we're gonna boost up the close. Alrighty. So now that we're done with these effects, let's see what this sounds like on our vocal.
You captured my attention. You walk into the room and it's like, God damn. Here we go again now. I didn't learn my lesson. Seeing as I'm hooked on you again. And I don't even know how. You captured my attention. You walk into the room and it's like, God damn. Here we go. I didn't learn my lesson. Seeing as I'm hooked on you again. And I don't even know how.
So now that we got all that figured out, and we're done with our effects, let's see what this does to the signal.
You captured my attention. You walk into the room and it's like, God damn. Here we go again now. I didn't learn my lesson. Seeing as I'm hooked on you again. And I don't even know how.
Oh, beautiful. Now, let's mix it back into the song so we get the exact thing that we want.
You captured my attention. You walk into the room and it's like, God damn. Here we go again now. I didn't learn a lesson. Seeing as I'm hooked on you again. And I don't even know how. You captured my attention. You walk into the room and it's like, God damn.
So again, this is a slight effect. It's not something that's just going to be the forefront. It's a return effect. So it's important after you've created the effect, listen to it in terms of your song and mix it down to taste. So I started up at -12, -11, maybe even -13, and I started mixing it down. So now it's at around 18, 19. So it's important that all of this is in context. It's supposed to add some depth to your vocals, a nice space, but it's not supposed to be an overpowering element that just dominates your mix. And that's important about these reverb effects, is that they're not supposed to be these grandiose things that you're supposed to hear throughout the entire mix and is supposed to create just these, you know, reverb halls for everything. It is slight effects that you add to taste that create a nice cohesive piece. All right, guys. I think that's it for this video. Can't wait to see you in the next.